Taglay mo ang galing na sigurado.
Kahit saan man mapunta, galing mo ay ipapamalas.
Tunay kay tatak Piyuenyo.
Kahit subukin man ang panahon, sabay-sabay pa rin tayong aahon. Dahil kailan may hindi nawawala pagmamahal natin sa isa't isa.
Piyuenyo, halina't sumabay sa tutugin ng ating tagumpay. So'y nagniningning ng Piyuenyo magaling. Ikaw at ako, Piyuenyo tayo. Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Piyuenyo ay di kumukupas. Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Piyuenyo ay di kumukupas.
Tulong-tulong abutin mga hangarin natin. Tayo'y handang matuto, kailan may hindi susuko. Sa galing ng pamumuno, tayo'y naging buo. Maan man ang maraming taon,
Tayo'y pinagtitibay ng panahon.
kahit tayo ay magkakaiba, ngunit tayo pa rin ay nagkakaisa.
Piyuenyo, halina't sumabay sa tutugin ng ating tagumpay. Puso'y nagniningning ng Piyuenyo magaling. Ikaw at ako, Piyuenyo tayo. Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Piyuenyo ay di kumukupas. Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Piyuenyo ay di kumukupas. Piyuenyo,
Orgulyo ikula numitatak oragon sa inmandarhon. Dahil mapadaog sa narok sa rabay. May paglaom sa gabos dahil naman ang gandang tunay na utak na Piyuenyo. Pag sinabing Piyuenyo magaling, siguradong titingalain na mamutawi ang pag-ibig sa iyong puso pagkat ikaw ay isang tunay na Piyuenyo.
Ibang klase ang galing-galing ng Piyuenyo. Kayang pagmalaki kahit kanino. Taas noo sa kabutihan ng iyong puso. Kahit saan man dalhin ng mundo.
Piyuenyo, halina't sumabay sa tutugin ng ating tagumpay. Puso'y nagniningning ng Piyuenyo magaling. Ikaw at ako, Piyuenyo tayo. Piyuenyo, halina't sumabay sa tutugin ng ating tagumpay. Puso'y nagniningning ng Piyuenyo magaling. Ikaw at ako, Piyuenyo tayo. Piyuenyo, iswit ang galing mo. Kahit anong Piyuenyo, pagsayan mo.
Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Piyuenyo ay di kumukupas. Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Piyuenyo ay di kumukupas. Ay di
Galing ng Piyuenyo ay di kumukupas.
Taglay mo ang galing na sigurado.
Kahit saan man mapunta, galing mo ay ipapamala.
Tunay kay tatak Eugenio.
Kahit subukin man ang panahon, sabay-sabay pa rin tayong aahon. Dahil kailan may hindi nawawala pagmamahal natin sa isa't isa.
Eugenio, halina't sumabay sa tutugin ng ating tagumpay. Ito'y nagniningning ng Eugenio magaling. Ikaw at ako, Eugenio tayo. Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Eugenio ay di kumukupas. Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Eugenio ay di kumukupas.
Tulong-tulong abutin mga hangarin natin. Tayo'y handang matuto, kailan may hindi susuko. Sa galing ng pamumuno, tayo'y naging buo. Maan man ng maraming taon,
Tayo'y pinagtitibay ng panahon. Kahit tayo ay magkakaiba,
ngunit tayo pa rin ay nagkakaisa.
Eugenio, halina't sumabay sa tutugin ng ating tagumpay. Puso'y nagningning ng Eugenio magaling. Ikaw at ako, Eugenio tayo. Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Eugenio ay di kumukupas. Panahon, oras ay lumilipas. Galing ng Eugenio ay di kumukupas. Eugenio,
Orgulyo bigkulan umintatak oragon sa inmandarhon. Daima padaog sa narok sa rabay may paglaom sa gabos dahil naman ang gandang tunay na utak na Eugenio. Pag sinabing Eugenio magaling, siguradong titingalain na mamutawi ang pag-ibig sa iyong puso pagkat ikaw ay isang tunay na Eugenio.
Ibang klase ang galing-galing ng Eugenio. Kayang pagmalaki kahit kanino. Taas noo sa kabutihan ng iyong puso. Kahit saan man.
Open forum for the search for the 9th Bicol University President. This is Dr. Samuel C. Mobiles, your host and moderator for this morning's affair. For those who are still standing, we are requesting to make your way to your seats now. Please turn off your cell phones or put them on silent mode. Throughout the duration of the forum, we ask you not to take nor entertain any phone calls inside the hall. Likewise, we request everyone to refrain from loud conversations and remain quiet throughout the duration of the event. This is to show respect to our candidates as they present their visions for Bicol University. Let us treat our candidates fairly. No clapping nor cheering except after all presentations when you may clap for all the candidates if you wish. I hope I'm clear with that. To start with, let us all rise for the doxology and please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem to be led by the BU Pulangi Chorale. Thank you very much, BU Pulangi Chorale. Good Monday morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
The excitement is building up as we await the selection of the 9th Bicol University President. Are you excited? Yes. Yes. Masyado kayong seryoso. Ayan. Ngumiti-ngiti naman. Okay. Alam ko masyado na kayong involved kung kanino kayo nakasuporta sa 5 candidates na nakaupo dito sa harapan. The public presentation and forum, which is the only public forum in the entire search process, is a vital part in the selection of the next BU president. It is where the candidates are presented to the public and community. Today, colleges and universities in the Philippines, or AACO, let us give a round of applause to Dr. Ilabel E. Ho.
For those who are the 9th president. Have there been development that and so we will also have the questions after, and so you can also ask your questions. But before we go to the guidelines, I would like to introduce to you the power team with me today. And let me start with the president of all presidents in the country. May I call on Dr. Tirso Ronquillo, representing the Philippine Association of State Colleges and Universities, and Dr. Ronquillo is the president of Batangas State University. And I have worked with Dr. Tirso, and again, I'd like to repeat that amongst all those that I have seen in the search committees that I have served for the last or more than 20 years, I think Dr. Tirso has the best presentation, although he's not part of this presentation. But anyway, Dr. Tirso, congratulations. And may I announce also that Batangas State University is the national university for engineering. With us is also a very good friend, one person who's also very accomplished in his field. And I am very much secure because we have a lawyer in us. So may I present to you the Regional Director of the Commission on Higher Education for Regional Office number 5. I'm sorry, I was thinking of Region 9. Okay, so Region 5, Attorney Septon de la Cruz. For the private sector, let me just read that we are also lucky to have with us the chairperson of Jos Mabalos Poe Foundation. I was going to say thank you. Chairperson and President of Simon of Cyrene Community Rehabilitation and Development Foundation, President of Philippine Exporters Foundation of Region 5, and owner of Chalmette Cottage Treasures. May I introduce to you Ms. Mary Beatrix Villanueva, fresh from Europe. And the last but not least is the faculty of the Bicol University College of Industrial Technology, representing the academic sector, and we'd like to acknowledge Associate Professor Joel Avano. And therefore, I was already introduced earlier, yours today and beyond, Mila Belho, after service. And so let me just read to you the guidelines so that we will be properly informed. First and foremost, we would like to say that the applicants have drawn lots, and therefore they will be presenting their platforms according to the numbers that they have drawn. And you will see the order later, surprise. And we also have to remind the audience that, and the presenters, that each applicant shall be given 10 minutes to make his or her presentation. The PowerPoint presentation may be allowed, okay? A timer shall be used, and so therefore, you will see the green sign, which signifies you may start. Okay, please. And you will see also the yellow sign, which will mean applicant has 2 minutes left. And you will see the red sign, which says time is up. Applicants are requested to keep their time limit, otherwise the applicant will be asked to step down. Sorry for that. Because we have to manage time. An open forum shall follow the presentation of the applicants after a 15-minute recess. So after all the applicants have presented their platforms, there will be a 15-minute break. And after that, we will resume, and we will have one question for each candidate. So the candidates will be housed at the holding room, and each of them will be called to answer the question coming from the various sectors, from the faculty, from the students, from the non-teaching, from the community, and from the alumni group. And so, after the first round of the questions, they will have another second round. The second round of questions, there will be pieces of paper that will be given to you for questions that you might want to ask other than those which have been already asked. All questions will be screened. Those questions that are personal, too personal in nature, will be asked during the individual panel interview. So all generic questions will be entertained for the moment. Any further clarification will be handled during the interview. Okay? So questions shall be limited to the applicant's vision papers or the developmental plans and related issues and concerns. They should be framed such that any applicant may answer. Questions shall not be directed to just one particular applicant. Questions of a personal nature, as I repeat, are not entertained to preserve the dignity of the applicants and of the search process. But we will ask the questions later as they will be interviewed individually. So each nominee shall be given 2 minutes to answer the question. A timer will again be used to alert the applicants regarding the lapse of their allotted time. A green sign, again, will alert the applicant to start answering the question. A yellow sign will mean again that the applicant has 30 seconds left. And a red sign will mean the time is up and the applicant is requested to keep the time. The first question from each of the sector will be answered again by all applicants. The sector representative shall read the questions, okay? For the succeeding rounds of question and answer, each applicant shall choose from the pool of questions, read the question, and answer it, okay? So that will be our flow for this morning activities, and therefore we expect that we will all abide by the rules. All of our members of the academic community here present are requested to clap their hands after all of the candidates have presented. Not one will be favored over the other. Let us just respect that, okay? So if all of these have been clear, this and more are your reminders for today. Just novelist.
Thank you, Dr. Ho, for accepting the enormous duty to take the helm of leading the search committee. Before we proceed, I would like to acknowledge the BU community here present at Hotel St. Ellis, headed by our University President, Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascareñas, sir. Together with the Vice Presidents, Dr. Amelia A. Durosan, the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Joseph L. Bartolata, the Vice President for Administration and Finance, Dr. Luis O. Amano, the Vice President for Research and Extension. Sir Louis may be watching over our Facebook Live. And Dr. Eddie S.C., our Vice President for Planning. Sir, watching also over, mag-hi na lang tayo kay Sir Ed, watching over the screen. Likewise, we would also like to acknowledge our colleagues and students. Hi muna pala dyan sa mga nasa balcony. Hello. Yan, madami po din sa taas. Iba ang bayad nila sa bayad nyo. We would also like to acknowledge our colleagues and students who are watching the forum online across various locations in the BU Main Campus, BU East Campus, BU Daraga Campus, BU Tabaco, BU Ginobatan, BU Pulangi, and BU Gubat Campus. We would also like to acknowledge our guests for this public presentation. Some of them are here physically present, and maybe some of them are watching us online. I would like to start with Dr. Aldrin A. Dalila, the CHED Commissioner and Chair of the Bicol University Board of Regents. Honorable Francis Joseph Escudero, the Chairperson for Committee on Higher and Technical Vocational Education, also a member of the Bicol University Board of Regents. Ms. Bernadette Ramos, the official representative of Senator Escudero. Also, Honorable Mark Ogo, the Chairperson, Committee on Higher and Technical Education, and a member of the BU Board of Regents. Honorable Joey Sarda Salceda, the official representative of Honorable Go. Director Luis G. Banwa, Regional Director for the National Economic Development Authority and member also of the BU Board of Regents. Director Romel Serrano, Regional Director of the Department of Science and Technology and member of the BU Board of Regents. Engineer Devar N. Robrigado, President of the BU General Alumni Association and member also of the BU Board of Regents. Engineer Jed M. Belien, Private Sector Representative and member of the BU Board of Regents. Engineer Fernandi de Matera, sir, President, Bicol University Union of Faculty Association and member of the BU Board of Regents. Ms. Asher J.P. Azul, Chairperson of the University Student Council and member of the BU Board of Regents. Attorney Septon E. De La Cruz, sir, Regional Director for the Commission on Higher Education, Regional Office 5. Director Antonio Villanueva Jr., Regional Director of the Department of Budget and Management, Regional Office 5. Director Virgilio C. Eduarte, Regional Director of the Department of Public Works and Highways, Regional Office 5. Director Norman S. Laurio, Regional Director, Department of Social Welfare and Development. Attorney Joel Estolatan, Regional Director of the Commission on Audit, Regional Office 5. Director Rodrigo M. Aguilar, Regional Director for the Department of Trade and Industry. Police Brigadier General Rudolph Dimas, Regional Director of the Philippine Police, Regional Office 5. Attorney Arnaldo Escobar, Regional Director, the Department of Interior and Local Government. Director Gilbert Sadsad, Regional Director, Department of Education. Dr. Ernie V. Vera, Regional Director, Department of Health, Regional Office 5. Regional Director Francisco Emilia Jr., Regional Director for the DNR, Regional Office 5. Dr. Elenita Tan, Regional Director of the Professional Regulation Commission. Ma'am. Attorney Daisy Bragais, the Regional Director of the Civil Service Commission, Regional Office 5. Director Maria Sinaida Angara Campita, the Regional Director of Department of Labor and Employment. Director Herbie B. Aguas, the Regional Director of the Department of Tourism. Honorable Elizalde Esco, Representative of ACO Bicol Party List, Chair and Committee on Appropriation, House of Representatives. Honorable Raul Angelo Gil Bongalon, the Representative of ACO Bicol Party List. Attorney Alfredo A. Garbin Jr., former Representative of ACO Bicol Party List. Honorable Edsel Greco Alexander Lagman, the Governor of the Province of Albay. Honorable Edsel C. Lagman Sr., Representative of the 1st District of Albay. Honorable Fernando T. Cabredo, Representative of the 3rd District of Albay. Honorable Carmen Geraldine B. Rosal, the City Mayor of the Legazpi City. Honorable Carl Wing Baldo, the Municipal Mayor of Daraga, Albay. Honorable Paul Chino Garcia, the Municipal Mayor of Binobatan, Albay. Honorable Shelo Crisel Lagman Luistro, the City Mayor of Tabaco City. Honorable Raymond Adrian Salceda, the Municipal Mayor of Pulanqui, Albay. Honorable Ronel Lim, the Municipal Mayor of Gubat, Sorsogon. Honorable Fernando Gonzalez, the City Mayor of Ligao City. Mr. Glenn J. Barcelon, Station Manager of DZGB. Ms. Marichu Bagato, Station Manager of Bombo Radio. Reverend Father Kevin Fonasher, the Station Manager of Radio Veritas Legazpi. Ms. Benilda Recibido, the OIC Head of Philippine Information Agency. Dr. Ramona Ines B. Ranieses, the President of the BU Retirees Association. Ms. Rosie Del P. Rivero, the Chapter Administrator of the Philippine Red Cross Albay. Ms. Adenda Deborah, State Auditor for the Supervising Auditor of COA. Ms. Cecil G. Imperial, State Auditor for Audit Team Leader of the Commission on Audit. Dr. Faye Leia Patria M. Lauraya, former University President. Dr. Susana C. Cabredo, Madam, former University President. Dr. Lilia Corporal Sena, former University President. Dr. Emiliano A. Abelin, former University President. Dr. Nelia S. Chokson, former Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Ofelia S. Vega, former Vice President and Dean. Dr. Faith M. Bachiller, former Vice President for Administration and Dean. Dr. Oscar Landagan, former Vice President for Administration. Attorney Eduardo M. Gloria, former Vice President for Administration. Dr. Obdulia E. Rojas, former Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean. Dr. Graciano B. Banyaga, former Vice President for Administration. Dr. Helen M. Lianaresas, Ma'am Helen, former Vice President for Academic Affairs. Prof. Jerry S. Bigornia, former Vice President for Planning and Development. I would like also to acknowledge President Charito Cadag, the university, the president of the Camarines Solar Polytechnic College, sir. And for the other guests whom I failed to mention, who are not written here in the list, you are all welcome and we acknowledge your presence in this morning's event. Hinga muna. We now come to the highlight of the event. The order of presentation was determined by drawing of lots prior to the start of the forum. I think I have to mention the order now, ma'am. Okay. The first presenter, parang mas kinakabahan kayo kaysa 5 nating candidates. The first presenter is Dr. Nebres. The second presenter is Attorney Bartolata. The third presenter is Dr. C. The fourth presenter is Dr. Malinis. And the last but not the least presenter, Attorney Nepomuceno. Before we start, another public announcement, yung mga sasakyan na babanggitin ko na nakaharap pa rin din daw up to now, baka ito na daw. AJA 1160 Isuzu Crosswind, EAA 8034 Hyundai, hindi ko alam kung anong model, DAS 8417 Mitsubishi. Hindi ko rin alam kung anong model. Kanina pa po to, malapit na siyang ito. Okay? Thank you. While the first presenter is still setting up the presentation, we would also like to remind you again to please put your cell phone on silent mode or turn it off. Also, no clapping nor cheering except after all the presentation, when you may clap for all the candidates, if you wish. Thank you. Presenter, Dr. Baby Boy Benjamin Nebres III.
to the Chairperson of the Bicol University Board of Regents, Honorable Chair Commissioner Alvin A. Drendag, and the Honorable Regent present, to the Search Committee Chairperson, Dr. Mila Dalpo, and the competent committee members, to the University President, Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascarenhas, and the University officials, faculty, personnel, students, retirees, alumni, friends and guests, Diyos marahin na daw po sa labos. I have always believed that excellence comes not just from empowering, but more importantly, having true faith in the power that lies within the people you work with. Truly, the faith of people in me, one that goes beyond statistics and affiliation, inspired my decision to run for the president. I am deeply honored serving the university with people who inspire me, believe that I can do my best as much as I inspire them to do the same, if not more. The pandemic taught us lessons, appended conventions in leading a human organization like Bicol University. Leadership, administrative, human skills were tested like never before, holding educational managers like me to genuinely serve the students beyond the call of duty. This, along with the immense faith vested in me by countless people in the university, led to the crucial moment of my professional career and leadership stance, fueling my desire to become your next president. Allow me to offer to you my vision. These are the four core pillars that will mold and shape.
These are the four core pillars that will mold and shape the ideal university in my mind and in my heart. Hasten from the great minds of Bicol University leaders ang pamantasan para sa katauhan. First, the concept of productive scholarship by Dr. Susana C. Cabredo is producing academic outputs for real societies. Second, the concept of transformative leadership by Dr. Faye Lea Patria Mataloraya, as she emphasized that transforming individuals to be leaders is transforming sustainable societies. Next is Dr. Lilia Corporal Sena's concept of collaborative service is the idea of connecting the university to societies for the betterment of all. And the last one is the concept of distinctive character by Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascarenhas is all about redefining BUenyo in building better societies. Putting this together fortified the concept of the University for Humanity as a response to the call and challenges of Industry 5.0 and the University 5.0 as defined by Burnett and Cowell in 2019. These are bounded by humanistic education and management, perennialism and progressivism, and essentialism in education. The concept of paideia and the total quality management anchored to the realization of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals set in the University for Humanity. According to Douglas Wilson in 2015, the paideia was all-encompassing and involved nothing less than the positive enculturation and humanization for the future nation builders. Institusyong taglay ang mga natatanging profesor, administrador at higit sa lahat, ang mga mag-aaral sa mga kursong isang hakbang lang sa mas makulay na pangarap, hindi lang isa, kundi ang lahat. We will move on how we will realize the vision through defined development goals, which we will raise to grow and unlock as the key to the new era of the university. Development goal number 1, provide relevant and responsive, accessible and equitable, quality and excellent higher and advanced education curricular programs attuned to local and global needs, productive instruction, research development, community engagement outputs, and collaborative production activities that will lead to sustainable university and the communities it serves. For curriculum instruction, Revitalizing the institutional capability and curricular offering, making the delivery responsive to the community and global needs. Equalizing the research and development and community engagement of the university is a shared responsibility in attaining a livable community, and that is for research and extension. For planning and development, optimizing the institutional resources for a sustainable university. Goal number 2, reinforce the university's capability through strong human development and resources, modern and digital and adequate facilities, and optimization of knowledge, innovation and technology generation, and transfer that will make communities vibrant and livable. For personnel and students' development and welfare, totalizing the positive experience of personal students in the university through proactive institutional human development and welfare programs and initiatives. For physical plant and facilities, institutionalizing the smart green campus and state-of-the-art laboratories in the university, which are receptive to the rigors of time. For a safety and healthy university, advancing the university environment into a safe and healthy community. Goal number 3, revitalize local and global industry and community partnership building and networking that will fortify the quality delivery of instruction, research development, community engagement, and the university administration's output to meet and connect the global sustainable development goals. For community relations, harmonizing and nurturing the relationships among stakeholders and local and global partners and network of the university through dynamic and shared prospects and opportunities for the development of communities. For administration and finance, maximizing total quality management and fiscal autonomy in the university. For quality assurance, strengthening the university system through continuous adherence to quality assurance. Rationalize the university's role in nation building and redefine its regional role and position that will strengthen its mandate and core values of scholarship, leadership, character, and service for total human development. For institutional advocacies, rationalizing the institutional advocacies on the promotion and conservation, equality and equity, and advancement and sustainable development for total human development. For future prospect, solidifying the university's role and position in the region through the establishment of the Bicol University system that will take the lead on instruction, research and development, community engagement. This functional mechanism can't be alienated from the set of statutory and government regulatory policies and requirements, nor crucial roles of quality assurance in meeting, maintaining, and sustaining the acceptable strictures in the delivery of good governance in the university. While state laws or policy regulating bodies define the system, the what and why, the quality assurance agencies validates on the how, on whether the system adheres to the statutory mandates and the extent of efficiency in consistently attaining that. As a leader that is fluid to the demands of national and international and its surfacing challenges. Yet, in all this, we cannot overlook the indispensable role of our partners, linkages, and network as a support system in enhancing, boosting, and amplifying the full mechanization of the embedded system distinctive to Bicol University.
That the attainment of this vision is only possible with everyone's mindful and intentional engagement for. After all, my vision is a continuation of the past and the present university's vision. With God's blessing and your support, this vision of a university for humanity, ang pamantasan para sa sangkatauhan, with me at its helm, will be realized. Let us synergize the best part in all of us for the best of Bicol University. So wherever life takes you and whoever you become, take pride in everything you do because you are taking the best part of Bicol University in you. Always remember, as you look at the eyes of your seatmates, BU is you. Bicol University is us. Diyos matters po.
Again, a reminder to everyone, please refrain from cheering or clapping only until every candidates have presented their wishes. Okay po? Kasi tatawagin namin yung guard, papalabasin kayo. Thank you, Dr. Bibi Boy Ginebres. The third, we now call the second presenter, Dr. Attorney Joseph L. Bartolata. Lahat sila nasa holding room. Parang Miss Universe lang. Wala lang.
Walang bangko.
The honorable members of the BU Board of Regents, esteemed members of the Selection Board, all the stakeholders of Bicol University, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. If I will be given a chance to be the 9th President of Bicol University, I will doggedly pursue the twin strategic thrusts of academic excellence and institutional resilience for sustainable development. Achieving this vision necessitates all our solid commitment to our well-established the honorable members of the Board of Regents, members of the Selection Committee, all the stakeholders of Bicol University, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. If I will be given a chance to be the 9th President of Bicol University, I will doggedly pursue the twin strategic thrusts of academic excellence and institutional resilience for sustainable development. Achieving this vision necessitates all our solid commitment to our quality policy, which is already well established. After all, our mission is to give professional and technical training and provide advanced and specialized instruction and research in various fields of specialization. Bicol University has always believed in the holistic development of an individual dedicated to the pursuit of truth, peace, justice, freedom, equality, and service to humanity. If I will be given a chance to lead this prestigious institution, I will be using the following management and development framework. Friends, all around us are great opportunities and great unprecedented challenges. Industrial Revolution 4.0, ASEAN integration, Sustainable Development Goals 2030, Ambition Natin 2040, the recently approved Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028, Pagtanaw 2050, and of course, our Bicol Medium-Term Development Plan. At the core of my management and development framework are the values that Bicol University upholds: scholarship, leadership, character, and service. The framework contains two very important elements: institutional resilience and academic excellence. Academic excellence, friends, is what the stakeholders see on the surface: the provision of our basic services along instruction, research, and extension. But serving as the foundation is the building of institutional resilience focused on governance and operations. The following are my 9 strategic directions. Along instruction, we'll offer relevant nationally and internationally benchmark curricular programs, improve the quality of education, and enrich the teaching and learning process, environments, and results. Along research, we will future-proof research and development by transforming BU into a research development and innovation ecosystem. And along extension, we will make BU more responsive through effective extension programs that fortify bonds with communities rooted in a shared culture. Along management, we will strengthen governance and operations by improving public service delivery system, refine administrative efficacy through proper stewardship of human and physical resources, ensure reliable and continuous flow of financial resources, prioritize personal and student welfare, and future-proof the physical facilities of the university. These are my 9 strategic directions. The following are the actionable plans. For strategic direction number 1, we will develop curricular programs based on demand, rationalize admission policy and system, conduct regular need-based review of curricular programs, and intensify internationalization. For strategic direction number 2, we will modernize pedagogy through adoption of technology-mediated learning, enhance academic quality assurance, improve faculty and student development programs, and establish additional centers of excellence and centers of development. For strategic direction number 3, we will enhance necessary institutional support to research development and innovation, strengthen industry and community-driven RDI, create a stimulating research environment in terms of policies and incentives, and establish additional research centers. For strategic direction number 4, we will strengthen BU's role in public service initiatives, build community partnerships, enhance extension function that promotes transfer of knowledge and technology, and design a comprehensive BU Cares extension program. For strategic direction number 5, we will adopt management processes that promote data-informed decision-making, transparency, and accountability, develop leadership opportunities for personnel and students, appoint, designate, qualified, and committed personnel, and enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of basic public services. For strategic direction number 6, we'll put up the needed ICT infrastructures and harness the power of data and analytics to create a smart university, improve administrative and financial systems and procedures, rationalize personal movement to enhance service delivery, and sustain, improve operational quality assurance. For strategic direction number 7, we will enhance fund and asset management, seek for increased budget appropriation, optimize the resource generation capacity of the university, and get sustained support from alumni and other benefactors. For strategic direction number 8, we will institutionalize comprehensive professional development program, promote, support, and celebrate personnel and student excellence, develop wellness programs that build resilience, and enhance personnel reward system. And finally, for my 9 strategic direction, we will formulate master plans and incorporate land allocation and development for all land assets, enhance the management and maintenance of BU facilities, upgrade physical facilities based on current and future needs, and make BU environment friendly and physically resilient. These are the actionable plans along my 9 strategic directions. Of course, you will ask, do I possess the necessary qualifications to take on this huge leadership role and responsibility? Well, I have a PhD in public administration, and I am a lawyer. For 8 long years, I have served as the planning director of the university. For 6 long years, I served as the quality management representative, taking a lead role in the implementation of our quality management system for our ISO. And for almost 4 years now, I have served as the Vice President for Administration and Finance. I really believe I am cut for this job. I am a bar passer, able to see the forest, not just the trees, reliable and the paragon of stability, transformative, on the ground, leader with a heart, action-oriented, tested by time and experience, and always cool, calm, and collected. Friends, again, I am Attorney Joseph Pagkulata. Join us as we shape a University of Excellence and Resilience for Sustainable Development. Using my management and development framework, give me the opportunity to bring out the best in all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Attorney Joseph L. Bartolata. And it's good to hear that you remind your seatmate not to clap yet. Right? Very good. Very good, children. Okay. So far, so good? Are we? Yes. We come now to the third presenter. While Dr. Joseph is going back to the holding room, we are now preparing for the third presenter, Dr. Ophelia Samar C.
Since 1969, Bicol University has been in the forefront of social landscape and economic development in the Bicol region. It has actually produced over hundreds of thousands of graduates. I am one of those graduates, a living proof that indeed quality education in Bicol University can lead to social transformation. All my life, I have been asked several times how I became a doctor and a professional. And there's only one answer that I give them, and that is because I started from nothing, physically and financially. I am the third child in a brood of 9. We used to live in a shanty beside a garbage dump, just a little nicer than a pig pen. I was born with physical and also walking disabilities, but my mother, who did not finish high school due to poverty, patiently taught me how to speak and carried me to my classes every day. With determination, I graduated as valedictorian of the most remote barangay of Tabua, Camarines Sur. In high school, I had big dreams of studying in the University of the Philippines, but my teacher denied me the chance of taking the UTCA, thinking that I could not afford education in Manila. I was so devastated and I cried. But during this time, a miracle was revealed to me, and I realized that God's plans are bigger than ours. And when a door closes on us, a window will open and will even rip off the roof in order to give the plan of God for us. So I wanted UP, but God wanted Bicol University for me. In Bicol University, I became the first summa cum laude, female summa cum laude, which made me qualified for a state scholarship in medicine, and no one else followed after 4 decades. Catriona Gray was right. On your path, you are never denied. You are just redirected. So after finishing my training in internal medicine and cardiology in the UPPGH, I was inspired by the words of Mother Teresa, who said, "Stay where you are, find your own Calcutta, find the sick, the suffering, and the lonely right where you are." So in my own Calcutta in Bicol region, I have been serving as a doctor and a medical educator for 30 years now. In 2019, I reunited with Bicol University as a faculty member and eventually the Dean of the College of Medicine. I have served many institutions, but always I gravitated towards Bicol University. I am now home in Bicol University, ready to give back, build bridges, and transform lives. As we gear towards my presidency, our collective victory will start with a clear vision, and that is to produce a globally competitive university through the forces of the 22nd century education. Care, connection, culture, and community in the aftermath of the COVID pandemic, which caused ever-changing HEI landscape. My mission is based on sub-leveling key result areas as follows: instruction, research, extension in the management of resources. Hence, we will produce graduates, develop faculty and personnel, and transformative qualities ready to serve both local and global communities in order to contribute to nation building in the sustainable development of smart university on innovation, commercialization, and technology transfer for sub-leveling and also for world-class ranking. We will undertake research projects and innovate programs responsive to global issues and emerging challenges to the socio-cultural and economic realities in Bicol through local, national, and international linkages. We will also make sure that we will be extending research projects and innovative programs responsive to global issues and emerging challenges, sensitive to the socio-cultural and economic realities in Bicol through local and also national and international linkages, and also those citizenry living in sustainable communities. Just like the Mapalad program, which I started and also launched in Albay and Camarines Norte, which aims to recruit and capacitate more poor students to enroll in medicine in order to address the scarcity of doctors in our region, in our country. Other colleges, when I become president, must also do the same, leading to magandang edukasyon para sa lahat dapat. On management of resources, my presidency will continue the legacy initiated by the past administrations, particularly Dr. Mascareñas, which are essential in achieving a borderless Bicol University. My university continuity and development agenda is based on the following. In particular, we will be able to address the SDGs, which are the foundation of sustainable and resilient modern world. My first 100 days will be marked by the launching of my academic continuity plan. It's true that we cannot make or achieve everything in the first 100 days, but what we do during this time will determine the trajectory of my presidency. So, if we improve 1% a day, that means in 100 days, we will be all 100% better. So, here are my 3-point academic continuity plan. And my priority programs are the following. All these programs are geared towards providing quality education to all our students. They will involve providing the best benefits, also compensation and welfare programs to students, staff, and also personnel. We will cultivate a rich research and learning environment in collaboration with the private sector, various industries, and the different communities where we operate. For my specific programs, we will have, of course, the Smart Campus initiated by our dear President. A Smart Campus program will actually encompass digitalization efforts of all records and resources in the different departments and units of the university, such as the following. Since streamlining these critical processes and procedure, which would shorten not only the needed turnaround time, but more importantly, improve the efficiencies and the effectiveness of all these services. Before the opening of classes, I vote to you, we will establish a room management and monitoring system, an inventory system, and implementation of a university-wide automated school ID system. To uphold the 4 pillars of BU, we strive to develop world-class faculty, recruit highly skilled instructors. The performance governance system would enable a faster and more responsive merit-based promotion system among the academic personnel and non-teaching staff. The compensation and benefit system of the university will also be reviewed with a PDB target in mind, as well as other incentives, including benefits for all retirees, particularly a medical care program featuring a university hospital. We will start the PhilHealth accredited infirmary as soon as possible. And as part of my Smart Campus initiative, the following laboratories of students will be constructed and put in place. I have also prepared the university development plan for the rest of my presidency. And one of the main thrusts of my presidency involves the strengthening of our science and technology curriculum. The focus of all research efforts of the university will be on innovation, commercialization, and not just publication. The different BU campuses will be transformed into centers for knowledge, innovation, science and technology, and more centers of excellence. They will serve as venues for entrepreneurial and commercial enterprises for startups, business ventures, and product development. Students, personnel, alumni, and the public can use now our sports facilities, and a study hub can be initiated for increased library time. And of course, I will not forget, we will make BU a gender-neutral and safe zone for all genders. In closing, I want to share the words of Pablo Picasso, who said that the meaning of life is to find your gift, but the purpose of life is to give them away. It is providential that my mother named me Ropelia, which in Greek means the one who assists. So I'm now here to assist you and serve you, and all of us will see the difference. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Dr. Odelia Samarsi. Very good talaga kayo. wala na akong narinig. We're getting used to it. We now come to the fourth presenter. While Dr. C is going back to the holding room, we now call Dr. Arnulfo P. Malinis, our fourth presenter.
To the community and to everyone. Good morning, world! Magandang umaga, Pilipinas. Maraynaldo sa inyo amin. It is with distinct honor and privilege to be considered as one of the applicants for this presidential race. At this onset, I would like to present you my profile of qualifications in a video presentation. Hindi ko kasama yung video sa PowerPoint yung kasama sa 10 minutes. Okay, well, my technical team is presenting the profile of qualifications. They will request for the sound of the technical presentation. All these were some technical difficulties.
An engineer by profession and innovator by heart, Dr. Mr. Clean traces his humble beginnings in the academe in 1986 as an assistant instructor of Bicol University College of Agriculture and Forestry. Through diligence and commitment to research and technology development, he rose from the ranks and currently holds the academic position of Professor 6. Dr. Malinis has profoundly contributed traces his humble beginnings in the academe in 1986 as an assistant instructor of Bicol University College of Agriculture and Forestry. Through diligence and commitment to research and technology development, he rose from the ranks and currently holds the academic position of Professor 6. Dr. Malinis has profoundly contributed to the university's research endeavors, both as a researcher and an innovator. As a seasoned researcher, he has published various researches with a substantial number of citations and awards. As an innovator, Mr. Clean has numerous patents under his belt, from utility models, inventions, and copyrights. The machines he had developed have in fact become the standard as cited by the Philippine Agricultural Engineering Standard. Not only is he an active contributor to industries, but his firm belief on technology transfer being a mechanism for social transformation is evident in his community service engagements. A trusted partner and collaborator of public and private organizations, Mr. Clean has promoted and advanced various pertinent projects and programs that have undoubtedly benefited BUeños. Among the most notable of which is the establishment of the first technology business incubators of the Bicol region, Silly-Deli, Batbi, and Bison. His 36 years in Bicol University has molded Mr. Clean from a well-respected educator to a beloved mentor who has so generously guided many students, several of whom have become leaders themselves. Indeed, Mr. Clean is a leader who places a premium on inner directedness and co-responsibility from every BUeño. His brand of innovative and transformative leadership has been tried and tested from 2007 as dean to the present as director. The BU Pulangi campus under his deanship prospered, seeing 9 programs progress through various levels of accreditation, key infrastructure built, and academic milestones achieved. Presently, the director for the Center for Technology Commercialization and Enterprise Development, Mr. Clean has led the development of hallmark policies such as the establishment and institutionalization of technology business incubators and innovation centers of the region, and Bicol University's Technology Transfer Protocol, all of which are changing the landscape of the university, setting the path to become a university driven by innovation. With his academic background and his technical expertise, Dr. Arnulfo P. Malinis, with his vision for our...
Again, good morning, everyone. First and foremost, allow me this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to our President, Dr. Arnulfo M. Malinis, and his administration for laying down the foundation, the work of the university, and leveraging on this accomplishment, and also the hard innovation made by the university, specifically during the pandemic, as presented Bicol University in a nutshell. I, Arnulfo Malinis, humbly submit myself as a possible candidate for your next president, with my vision of Bicol University as a globally recognized university, producing innovative, transformational leaders for community empowerment. This vision can only be viable to contextualize innovation by becoming Bicol University beyond borders, a Bicol University driven by innovation, and a Bicol University of, by, and for empowered communities. This strategic experience of celebrations are all anchored on the international, national, regional, and global development frameworks and goals as provided. Bicol University is a university beyond borders through seamless education with the two development agenda and broad international priorities. Under the development agenda of seamless education are following initiatives. The first initiative is the QAPCON. QAPCON is Quality Assurance Continuum, a program aimed at adhering to the latest international pedagogic standards set by the university ranking institutional bodies, from leveling, application, and the rest. Then the next program for our students will learn students face gains from enrollment and graduation. We call it the EC program. Another program will be augmenting the digitization of Bicol University through app infra. And we have also policies the potential of undergraduate graduate research, which shall have response, or the new student monitoring and advisory system. To nurture BUeño athletes and artists will be the initiative towards ISANA program. And also to ensure that the continuous mental, physical, and disease safety well-being of each BUeño is the acquired need. It also standardizes the master plan for the implementation of the basic education offering through the IIB. That has also been active as advocates of gender responsiveness through the gender rating. And of course, for the unsung heroes of the Sisters University, we imagine you to be our faculty members, we have us, and my faculty members become proactive and agile in the face of MDC 461. Why do we promote faculty and acquiring talents with our hiring relationship graduate program? Under the agenda now for program internationalization of years, we have the ISA Setup Project, which set up a professional excellence international standards. And of course, under this agenda is the extra mile. It's aimed at leveraging the well-laid groundwork to the continuum of the engagement and building milestone. The second development direction is Bicol University, driven by innovation. Through innovation entrepreneurship-driven landscape, we have the following strategic initiatives. We have the sustainable resources endowment of faculty are strengthened the technology development platform towards incubation for commercialization or I4C. And also the mindset for our innovators in the university. And we have the one for one tech, which is a leverage the human technical knowledge and infrastructure resources of the university to truly bring the mind market. Right to improve the processes and support systems to hasten R&D and I guess by R&D divisions and graduates. So those are the strategic directions for Agenda 2. And now, achieving sustainable resources in development passages, we have the following strategic initiatives. We have the individual and facility development and organization of the faculty program. We have the responsibility to develop a PCC program. We have the establishment of the university marketplace with the university. We have extended support for the NSS through the extra process. And the next development agenda is toward empowering communities. And here are our specific directions for this one. We have developing the ability master. This is your plan, and also developing the ISSP as our basis for the smart campus data analytics. And also the evaluation of building workstations for effective occupancy. This is continuing the legacy of our president with the different organize our infrastructure. We have presented the quick action team of the university for the very assessment team to respond all observations of players. And also presented the PDLO. So, and others. So I want to just run through for a few minutes of the different programs. Just run through the different programs. So we have third CC programs and the summary of those programs. So the second are our communities and the strategic experience and go to the last slide. Go to the last slide. And my last slide will tell you the thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arnulfo Balinis. We call now the last presenter, last but not least, Dr. Attorney Alex V. De Pomoceno.
The words are running to global village according to Mama. By martial transportation, information communication technology, mass computer time space, there are big universities that are smart. However, the continuous quest for development and for advanced technology and environment is compromised. Hence, there is a need for restoration and for sustainability. In this past, big universities such as Go, Lee, mapping out global applications and state, raising for IR 4.0, IR 5.0, and applications 5.0, and compliance in international standards and metrics, big such as Go. Moreover, big university has taken their significant in this global vision world and both actions for great businesses. Present ladies and gentlemen, I therefore propose my vision for Big University to be a smart global university, renowned great businesses for big minds. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and please join visualize Big University is story for the next 4 years. For most, Big University shall formulate expanding global education, development, to be the anchor for the family. Leverage, smart campus, digital transformation, bring sustainability, and also for the rationalization of research and development, startup planning, integration technology, and pursuing and rationalization and application of human resources, including development to accelerate academic in order to package skills from community services to innovate inclusive social transformation to have great lessons. Ladies and gentlemen, all of this will surely give various masterpieces and month of contribution for the great lessons in Big University. With this, I crafted my mission statement to produce preferred global professionals, talents, and legacy leaders who are pillars, innovative, sustainable, and inclusive societal transformation. In the interest of time, I just send some few points of my strategic program projects and those development goals. To leverage smart campus toward global university, we need to have university comprehensive plans and design updated 16 classes to include smart devices, including internet connectivity, ICT and IIT infrastructure, construct smart classrooms and building among others. For digital transformation, there is a new harmonize. Big University is cyber and digital environment. They have appropriate infrastructure, development system, digitalize processes and services, and therefore adapt and adapt smart model. For being sustainable, for good governance, we have to have sustainable university plan model, procure reliability and resources, maintain sustainability, and have a society part Big University in order for it to be a university sitting in a garden. To accelerate academic greatness, we have to formulate smart global application and pursue academic positioning, reaching and running. Seamless vertical articulation of academic programs and implement strategies for world competition and for international university ranking. Guarantee academic freedom for students in the faculty and for video to be an academic benchmark. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a need for us to accelerate champion internationalization of education. We have enhanced human resources development, both for the administrators, for the faculty, non-teaching, and students, promoting medical well-being, establish global programs that take sector. Design, reskilling, upskilling, and multi-skilling program, institutionalized continuing education program for all and uphold private SRM system among others. By revolutionizing research function, the processes and engagement, we shall formulate research development agenda pursuant to the needs of the Bicol University and the Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028 and the UN SDGs. Adapt research to commercialization continuum, establish linkage for cutting edge and breakthrough researches, and build repository knowledge by disciplinary research. To provide impactful extension and community service, we have to establish Bicol University as a hub for strategic collaboration. Its talents must have its own extension banner program, expand the Batid program, expand Tabas Pag-Aral program, establish Peace Legacy Center for Education and Leadership Legacy for Peace and Development, and also promote global citizenship. Establish Knowledge, Innovation, and Technology Hub. The university shall establish Science, Innovation, and Technology Global Village, establish Integral and Climate Smart Hub, and establish Human Peace and Security Hub. Lastly, the university shall harness to exercise its corporate power and resources in order to have income-generating projects that will add to the GAA and other externally funded in order to move to its highest level of desired development of the university. In summary, ladies and gentlemen, I am presenting here the BID development framework as shown on screen. For the strategic role of BID as a hub of strategic collaboration, we shall be adopting this framework. And for my first 100 days, I will initiate and commence PEPOL like priority agenda, namely for PEP performance evaluation and designation of officials. For POL, policy review for enhancement related LFOs, along instruction, research, extension, production, income generation, and budget utilization. I shall also adopt the Live Benwa Food Toy Project, Live for lighting of classrooms and streets, ventilation of classrooms and offices, water, which is Tumbler Sayo, Tubig Alay ng Video. This is a free water for the Bicol University employees and students, improvement of food facilities, toilet upgrading of comfort rooms, and construction of at least 3-star outdoor comfort rooms responsive to GAD and PWDs, and the improvement of internet connectivity and campus-wide Wi-Fi, and consultation for priority needs and programs with the stakeholders and interested parties, the students, the faculty, the non-teaching, alumni, and others, and also the external stakeholders for us to have a comprehensive grasp of the needs and the priority programs of Bicol University. Also adopt cleaner and greener program, landscaping all campuses of Bicol University, and make BU a city in a garden. Ladies and gentlemen, likewise, each college shall have the respective trust and direction as follows. College of Arts and Letters for Multimedia Arts and Network, so on and so forth. College education to be adapted as teacher education, engineering, leading smart engineering. As Bicol University takes another 4 years of journey, let the name Bicol University stands for as best in innovation, competencies, and opportunities for learning that is unified and nimble, as intellectually vibrant and excellent research school for international talents and youths. And let this be our mantra, not just excellence but greatness, not just best practices but leading practices, not just dedication but consecration to public service, not just achievements but legacies, not just domestic but global, and not just for Filipinos but for humanity. A smart green global university shall be the heart of legacies. BU shall be known for leveraging excellence to greatness in academic culture, infrastructure, environment, and system. And all of these services shall be for the glory of God Almighty. Thank you. Salamat. Diyos Mabalos.
Ayun. Pwede na. Louder. Ayun. Thank you, Sir Alex, and to all the other 4 candidates for their presentation of their visions platforms, and actions for Bicol University. Let's give them your loudest cheer, kung may cheer kayo, or your loudest clap. One more time. Okay. You are a very good audience. At this point, we will have a 15-minute break. Diretso na daw, sabi ni floor director. So, tuloy-tuloy na tayo. We will now proceed to the first round of open forum. Okay, the first round, as Dr. Ho mentioned a while ago in the mechanics, we will be asking one at a time again, our candidates. They will be coming from the holding room, and the sectoral representatives will ask them questions. And they are given 2 minutes to answer each of the questions raised by the sectoral representatives. Attorney Norty, we follow the same sequence. Okay. Mabuti pa kayo, kakain na. Enjoy your snacks. While we hear the question and answer forum from our candidates and from our sectoral representatives. So may I now call the first candidate, Dr. Baby Boy Benjamin D. Nebres III, as we listen to him how he answered the sectoral representative questions.
Adjust ko muna dito.
question. How would you like to partner with the alumni, and how would you like the alumni of BU under your leadership?
Well, actually, in the time of Dr. Mascarenas, I see the partnership and the collaboration that's being done. And I think we should have to continue that and give more programs, because a part of my vision is more on the quality engagement and quality collaboration of all the stakeholders, and a part of it is the alumni. Going to there, we're going to make the alumni more vibrant, because if we're going to see the universities, they are being helped by the alumni organization in their development, and that is what I see for Bicol University. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, sir. Good morning. Good morning, sir, for this afternoon. Good morning po.
If what are the possible collaborative efforts will you have between BU and the private sector?
Time that we proceed on supporting the industries and even the private sectors according to the sustainable goal that we have to achieve. My plan is simple. Invite all the private sectors, the industry, the Chamber of Commerce in Bicol University in planning and redesigning the curriculum, because we want our students to be a collaborator of change, and that is what I think for.
Sir, good morning. I'm Mr. Bugalbat of Video Ads. So historical data shows that promotion to higher faculty position is highly efficient, but the same cannot said to the BU's non-teaching personnel. To be specific, many had worked for long years under contract of service, job orders, and casual position. So the question is, what concrete plans do you have in mind for non-teaching personnel in terms of creation of items, higher ranks, to ensure that their career path are in the consciousness of your administration?
Thank you very much. We, with my team, are looking on these things, and the scrap and build is not the answer for that. We have to revisit the HRDP, and we have also to connect with our partners in the Congress, to help us and to help PASO to fund the ROS. And another thing is that we have to review things that makes this a little problematic in order that we can go with what we achieve. Remember, in my vision, a part of the goal is totalizing the personnel and student experiences for the optimization of the university. So that is one thing. If all the employees are happy, then the university is happy. Therefore, we're going to have a vibrant and livable society, a livable or vibrant university that we have. Thank you.
Hello, good day, sir. I'm Denver Lizano, the Editor-in-Chief of the Bicol Universitarian, in representation of students. The GLA 2022, or the General Legislative Assembly, last academic year, passed Resolution Number 1, Series of 2022 on March 21, 2022, urging the BU administration to allow students to align with the dress code based on their gender expression and/or identity during graduation ceremony, but was rejected by the Board of Regents. What is your opinion in this matter? To implement that will protect LGBTQ+ rights, a safe space for gender expression.
I am an LGBTQ advocate, and I believe in not in equality but equity among all the students. You know, Denver, when I am your Dean of Office of Student Affairs and Services, I look to it that respect must be given, and in my time, this will be felt. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm the representative of the faculty sector. Sir, this is my question. In case of conflict between faculty who are members of the union, what intervention, if any, your presidency will do?
Actually, dialogue is the best measure. If you talk in front of the table, not at the back of the table, you decide on certain things in front of the individuals in conflict, then I think everything will be resolved. I am a person of looking forward on the concept of collaboration and strong engagement. Conflict because we have different views, we have our different opinions, but setting aside there, looking beyond what we can achieve is something different. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nebres. We are done with the first round of questions for you. We now call the second candidate, Dr. Attorney Joseph L. Bartolata. Okay, our second candidate, Dr. Attorney Joseph L. Bartolata, will take now the questions from our sectoral representatives.
Sir, good morning. I'm from representative of the faculty sector. Sir, this is my question. If in case of conflict between faculty who are members of the union, what intervention, if any, your presidency will do?
Thank you very much for the question. Of course, we always emphasize that there will always be conflicts because we are all social beings. As far as the conflict involving faculty members are concerned, my administration can always assist in the holding of dialogues so that these faculty members perhaps can meet halfway so that conflicts can be avoided. You see, conflicts like this are dysfunctional. They do not do anything good to the organization. Of course, there are conflicts which are functional, and in fact, the same can be encouraged in the organization. For example, in the critiquing of proposal, there is such thing as devil's advocacy, wherein one will be assigned to critique one particular project for the benefit of the organization. So essentially, friends, dysfunctional conflicts should be ironed out, should be nipped at the bud. Functional conflicts can actually be encouraged. Thank you.
Sir, good morning. From the UNSCO. So historical data shows that promotion to higher faculty position is highly given. But the same the candidate said for the BU, non-teaching personnel. So to be specific, many had worked for so long under the contract of service, job orders, and casual position. The question, sir, is what concrete plans do you have in mind for non-teaching personnel in terms of creation of items, promotion to higher ranks, to ensure that their career path are in the consciousness of your administration?
Thank you. Of course, we all realize and we know this for a fact that the non-teaching personnel are considered as second citizens. Forget my term, for lack of a better word, as far as state universities and colleges are concerned. Now, recently, NBC 589 has been passed and approved, and there is a corresponding budgetary allocation. But in my administration, we will prioritize the creation of non-teaching positions. Unfortunately, there is no much funding from the national government, so we'll resort to scrap and build. In fact, I am the chair of the scrap and build committee constituted by the president, and recently we have scrapped about 55 teaching personnel, and this has resulted in the creation of 77 teaching personnel, and more importantly, 101 non-teaching personnel, so that our non-teaching personnel will have the chance of being promoted and of getting permanent position. Of course, we will continue to introduce training and non-training interventions for our non-teaching personnel, and rest assured that under my presidency, the same shall be prioritized. I have one mantra though. I have one request though. My mantra is captured in the acronym BU, meaning bring the best in you. So my request to the non-teaching personnel, we are doing all this, but also please bring out the best in you so that we will not shortchange our stakeholders.
Good day, sir. I am from the Bicol Universitarian, and I am raising this question for the students as well. The General Legislative Assembly 2022 passed Resolution Number 001 Series of 2022 last March 21, 2022, urging the BU administration to allow students to align with the dress code based on their gender expression and or identity during the previous graduation ceremony. What is your opinion regarding this matter, and what policies do you plan to implement that will protect the LGBTQIA+ rights and make Bicol University a safe space for gender expression?
Thank you. Of course, in state universities and colleges, there should be no room for discrimination. We are on the 21st, turning 22nd century, so as much as possible, we should avoid all forms of discrimination, including discrimination against those who belong to, those who have different social orientation. Now, in my presidency, we will continue to promote gender and development, not only among the students, but also among the faculty members. In fact, one office has been created by our current president to ensure that the mandates of the law are implemented in Bicol University as far as gender and development is concerned. Now, as regards the cross-dressing, of course, this is something that is already permitted by the university, even without the admin order allowing so. So I would maintain the same. Order, but of course, it is incumbent upon us, all the stakeholders of the university, to ensure that there should be no discrimination against anybody, whether he is a man or a woman, or he belongs to a different sexual orientation.
Good morning again. As representative of the alumni, how would you like to partner with the alumni, and how would you like the alumni of BU under your leadership?
Thank you. Of course, we always consider our alumni as one of our best assets. BU has already produced, in its 53 years of institutional existence, BU has already produced thousands and hundreds of alumni. But, to paraphrase John F. Kennedy, ask not what BU can do for you, but what the hundreds of alumni can do for Bicol University. And that is where we will build strong partnership. We'll continue to honor you, especially those who have supported the cause, those who have made a difference in their fields. We'll continue to honor you in formal ceremonies, especially during Charter Day. And we will continue to have that robust and productive partnership. For example, sponsoring fund run to support a cause, or supporting fundraising activity for the benefit of our students. So the alumni definitely will become a strong partner with my administration in trying to provide services to the community.
Good afternoon, sir. You mentioned the word partnership. And in your presentation, you mentioned the word collaboration. As a private sector worker, you would like to know what are the possible collaborative efforts you have in mind if you become the president of the university. Thank you.
Of course, the private sector, the industry, other professional organizations have important role to play under my administration. For example, along our extension services, our university can partner with the private sector or companies, perhaps in the implementation of their corporate social responsibility. We can help create sustainable communities. And yeah, for sure, everybody knows that collaboration is the name of the game right now. When we collaborate, we share resources. When we collaborate, we engage in partnerships, in productive partnerships. We achieve goals that cannot just be easily achieved individually. Thank you.
I think we're done with the round of questions from the sectoral representative. Thank you, Dr. Attorney Joseph L. Martolana. We go now to the third candidate. May we call in Dr. Ofelia Samarsi. Again, our third candidate to take the questions from the sectoral representatives, Dr. Ofelia Samarsi.
Good morning. Okay. As an alumni, question. Hello. Hello. As representative of the alumni, how would you like to partner with the alumni? And how would you like the alumni of Bicol University under your leadership?
Thank you so much for that question. First and foremost, I want to tell you that I have been really part of the BU General Alumni Association. I have been the president of the Alumni Association of the College of Science for many years in the past, and also a board member of the Bugay. And I want a really very active alumni association, and I think it's already been reinvigorated now and really very active. I've seen it through the years that alumni really have been very much closer to the administration and very active. But probably what I would love to see in the alumni would be if we can tap the alumni, particularly those who are economically gifted, to pour more finances or money to the administration so that they can help also the students who are in need. Like, I'm very worried about students who are poor, and I want that the alumni will share more of their blessings to the students who cannot afford good or quality education because of poverty. So I would like that probably most of the alumni who are here or who are watching, if they are watching, to please contribute to the university. So during the time of Dr. Lauraya, I have partnered with the Bicol University through our Ibalong Medical Center Foundation, wherein I donated a lot for scholarships for the poor. So I hope that this will be done also and reinvigorated. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Dr. C. Good morning po.
Hello.
You are from the private sector, right? As a private sector representative, I would like to know if are there any possibilities under your presidency of a program between private and Bicol University in order for you to achieve your direction based on your presentation about that?
Thank you so much. In fact, I have already tapped, even if I'm not yet the president, I have already tapped several NGOs and private individuals to help me with scholarship for the students, for the poor students. And they have already committed to me that if I become president, they will be donating to the university for in this particular aspect. But I have a program which is very close to my heart, which has been already launched. We launched it in Albay and also in Camarines Norte. That's the Mapalad, the Medicina para sa lahat dapat, for those poor students who want to be doctors. So I want to tell them that they can be doctors even if they are poor. But I think very important here is that private individuals have already committed to finance the review classes for these would-be doctors, so that the poor students can also have the opportunity to pass the NMAT. So we will capacitate them through the help of the various private sectors, and I'm very happy about that. And I think we are not actually in what we call this. We have a lot of donors that will be partnering with us. So the private sector will form a very vibrant role in the C administration if I win the presidency. Thank you so much.
Good morning po. Mr. Bungalban po of Video Ants. Okay. Historical data shows that promotion to higher faculty position is highly efficient, but the same cannot be said for BU's non-teaching personnel. So to be specific, many had worked for so long under contract of service, JOs, and casual position. Ma'am, what concrete plans do you have in mind for non-teaching personnel in terms of creation of items, promotion to higher ranks to ensure that their career path are in the consciousness of your administration?
Thank you so much for that question. First, I really sympathize with you with regards to the plight of the job order employees. In the law, it has to be, should not even be beyond 6 months, and then it should be already regularized. So if I become the president, I will review the HRDP as well as the ROS so that we will be able to help this particular non-teaching employees so that they will be promoted as fast as they can. And in doing that, they will be happy. I believe that happy employees will lead to happy family and also happy president and happy Bicol University. So kailangan i-promote natin sila, kailangan bigyan natin sila ng pagkakataon na kumita ng nararapat ayon sa kanilang serbisyo. At kailangan din natin silang i-capacitate. Tulungan natin sila na dapat sila ay ma-qualify para yung requirement ng CSC, yung Civil Service Commission, ay mag-qualify sila doon, and they will have more skills so that they will have higher ranks in their promotion. At dapat ang promotion regular at mabilis dapat. Okay, so thank you so much.
Hello ma'am, I'm Denver Gilizano po, the editor-in-chief of the Bicol Universitarian. I'm here to represent the student sector. Ayan, so the GLA 2022, or the General Legislative Assembly of Students 2022, passed Resolution Number 1, Series of 2022, last March 2021 last year, urging the BU administration to allow students to align with the dress code based on their gender expression and or identity during the graduation ceremony, but was rejected by the Board of Regents. What is your opinion on this matter? What policies you plan to implement that will protect LGBT rights and make BU a safe space for gender expression?
Thank you so much. I think the right to expression, right to see yourself and be able to express yourself is enshrined in the Constitution. So if I become the president, I will make sure that your rights will be protected. Yes, I will allow you to if it is approved by your General Assembly, I will respect that particular decision of the student body, because first and foremost, my presidency will have to actually make sure that my main priority will be the students. So whatever the students decide, I will have to abide by that. For as long as you don't actually do anything that will be contradictory to the Code of Ethics, to the student, to the student manual and the policy of the school, I will ensure that I will lobby to the Board of Regents so that it will be approved favorably. So I also tell you that I am for the rights of the LGBTQA. I'm also very much promoting to the different spectrums of gender. And so I think that is your right, whatever you will decide as students. So that's it, and I'm hoping to meet with all of you and dialogue with you regularly so that I will know your aspirations, I know your lives. And in the CU presidency, I will make sure that the students will be first and foremost the priority of all the constituents of the Bicol University. Thank you.
Good morning, Doctora. I'm the representative of the faculty sector. This is my question. In case of conflict between faculty who are members of the union, what intervention, if any, your presidency will do? I actually respect the right of an organization to for association in order for them to form any union or whatever. So for as long as it is within the bound of the law, and I will respect that. But what I will do first is dialogue with them, because there might be some concerns that can already be settled in just a simple dialogue. I am a person who I always want to listen to the sentiments, to the wants, to the beliefs of all the constituents of an organization. I have done that in Bicol University College of Medicine, wherein I want that all sectors of the institution, of the college must be heard. So for the employees, I assure you that I will respect whatever you like, what will make you happy. And because happy employees will also make a happy Bicol University and a happy president. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. C. We are done with the round of questions from the sectoral representatives.
Thank you.
Mamaya na natin reserve ang clapping and cheering after all the candidates have been asked on the open forum, okay? Warning. Warning. We now call Dr. Arnulfo P. Malinis to take the seat for the questions from the sectoral representatives. Again, let's reserve our cheers and claps after the 5 candidates have answered all the questions.
Good day, sir. I'm from the Bicol Universitarian, and I'm asking this question for the students. The GLA, or the General Legislative Assembly 2022, passed Resolution number 001, Series of 2022, last March 21 of last year, urging the BU administration to allow students to align with the dress code based on their gender expression and/or identity during the graduation ceremony. What is your opinion regarding this matter, and what policies do you plan to implement that will protect the LGBTQIA+ rights and make Bicol University a safe space for their gender expression?
Again, good morning to everyone. Everything in the university will be governed by policies. So the first thing to do is to review and revisit all these policies, and if there will be no problem with regards to the policy and it is in place, it will be allowed. So under the Gender and Development Program of the government and of Bicol University, I think these things could be done in proper policy advocacy. Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Mr. Bungalban po of BUANS. Historical data shows that promotion of a higher faculty position is highly efficient, but the same cannot said for BU's non-teaching personnel. Right? To be specific, many had worked for long years under contract of service, JOS, and casual position. Sir, what concrete plans do you have in mind for non-teaching personnel in terms of creation of items, promotion to higher ranks to ensure that their career path are in the consciousness of your administration? Thank you.
At present, the NBC 589 define OSS, or the office standards and standardization of staffing in the SUPs under phase 1. So I think we have to look into the present staffing pattern in all the offices. Let us check this staffing pattern in all the offices and come up with solutions for this one. These are affected by budget and also DBM circulars and policies. I think we have to look into all these things together with the analysis of the workplace of our personnel, non-teaching personnel, and all the requirements regarding the hiring program for our job orders, contractual. So these are things that have to be addressed at the university.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, I am the representative from faculty sector. This is my question. Sir, if in case of conflict between faculty who are members of the union, what intervention, if any, your presidency will do?
Okay. So, in case even I have not completed the presentation of my 3 agenda, in case of my 3 strategic spheres, 8 agenda, and 36 initiatives, okay, the best thing to do still is coming up with a solution to the problem. And in coming up with a solution to the problem, you have to understand all the things surrounding this problem. So as the president, you should be affirmed enough or decisive enough to look into the problem, provide solution to the problem, and if possible, it's always a win-win solution or no conflict at all. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. As a representative of the alumni, how would you like to partner with the alumni And how would you like the alumni of BU under your leadership?
That's a very nice question, ma'am. As part of my 36 strategic initiatives, I have identified two programs for the alumni. Could be the investment plan with the help of our alumnus and or our alumni through the LINGA program, and also expanding alumniship. No, we expand the alumniship through the INA, nurturing our alumni, and we could come up also with technopreneurship programs with our alumni. So this is embodied in my two strategic initiatives for our alumni. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. From the private sector po, I'm Mr. Maseda. What possible collaborative efforts will you have between BU and private sector?
In my eighth development agenda, trailblazing with the trifocal alliance with the industry. Being part of the City Delhi, I've been immersed with dealing with the industry. We have the Industry Academy Partnership or the Trifocal Alliance. Okay, so we're building consortiums with the different government agencies. We're building our consortium, strengthening our consortium with the different industry, bringing our students, researchers, for example, to the industry, bringing the faculty researchers to the industry and to our partners, but creating, like for example, technology enablers. We would like to bring our products in the university to our clients, whether it's in the community, which is embodied in my community empowerment program for all BUenos. Thank you.
I think we're done with a round of questions from the sectoral representative to Dr. Arnulfo P. Malinis. Thank you, sir. We call now, last but not the least, Dr. Attorney Alex B. Nepomuceno for the question from the sectoral representatives. Who will throw the first question out?
Good day, sir. I'm Denver Gilizano po, the Editor-in-Chief of the Bicol Universitarian. I'm here to represent the student sector. The General Legislative Assembly 2022, or like the Student Assembly of the student body, passed Resolution Number 1, Series of 2022, March last year, urging the BU administration to allow students to align with the dress code based on their gender expression and or identity during the graduation ceremony, but was rejected by the Board of Regents. What is your opinion on this matter? What policies you plan to implement that will protect LGBTQIA+ rights and make BU a safe space for gender expression?
Thank you very much. I already expressed my opinion with regard to the question because I was one of the three who voted allowing the cross-dress during the commencement exercises based on two main reasons. Number one is, I quoted Pope Francis when he said, "Who are we to judge?" Because my perspective, if there is cross-dressed person who entered the church, a moral ground, in fact, was not sent out. And the second is, of course, in accordance with the laws that have been passed by the legislative, especially those that protects non-discrimination, including the LGBT. That's the reason why we have also this law, which is no bastos law, walang bastos law. which is actually in relation with gender and development. And that is also in accordance with the social development this time, wherein there is already this recognition and acceptance of the expression of gender, which is cultural based. Thank you very much.
Sir, good morning po. Mr. Bungalban po of BUANS po. Historical data shows that promotion to higher faculty position is highly efficient, but the same cannot said for BU's non-teaching personnel. To be specific, many had worked for long years under contract of service, job orders, and casual positions. Sir, the question, what concrete plans do you have in mind for non-teaching personnel in terms of creation of items, promotion to higher ranks to ensure that their career paths are in the consciousness of your administration?
So thank you very much. The first thing that we have to do is, of course, analyze it vis-a-vis with ROS and also with the existence of vacancies and also the reclassification possibility that can be addressed by the university pursuant to civil service rules and regulations as well as DBN. But there should actually be fair grounds in the selection. But these COs or even JOs must be given the opportunity. In one of my programs, we have there re-skilling, up-skilling, and multi-skilling, so that if there will be vacancies that will happen in the university that may perhaps be brought about by restructuring because of the forthcoming new administration, so they will all be given the chance for absorption, not necessarily that they will be given the priority because there may also be outsider applicants, but we have to level the fields as far as the evaluation of their merits and also the performance is concerned. Thank you very much. Don't worry, we are going to deal it in accordance with all the provisions of law and also with the standing policies, rules, and regulations as may we follow.
Sir, good morning. This is my question, sir. In case of conflict between faculty who are members of the union, what intervention, if any, your presidency will do?
Although we say that there is independence as far as the union is concerned, but the dysfunctional that may happen within the union will greatly affect the university because they are the same human resource. They are the same human resources. I am a lawyer, but I may sound first biblical this time, that there should be this observance of the scripture that before reaching the court, if it is possible, if it is really possible to make settlement, which is extrajudicial settlement, not within the court but outside the court, it would be better. However, in the resolution of the conflict, public interest should always be above anything else. What is important there is the dysfunction effect that will happen and will give negative effect to the university must be matched, given attention, and be resolved as soon as possible. However, the resolution could be done outside the court and within the court. As far as outside court resolution is concerned, settlement is possible, Christian values is possible, and even the demonstration or manifestation of humility and the upholding of good values is concerned. But if it will be resolved judicially, so we have the rules, we have the course procedure, and we also have those rules and regulations and policy to follow. And that will be outside Bicol University's concern. But within Bicol University's power and authority, I, to be the next president, will have it always in amicable settlement because I drumbeat the banner, peace and security. Thank you.
Good morning. As an alumni representative, how would you like to partner with the alumni and how would you like the alumni of BU under your leadership?
Alumni actually is one of the great allies of the university, whatever university is that. So there should always be this partnership and collaboration to the highest level. Not only that alumni is the greatest asset and ally of the university, but we have to recognize the fact that these alumni are scattered all over the world. And that will jive so much with my vision, which is Smart Green Global University. We'll be having contact in any part of the world because of this alumni. So the first thing that I would like to have partnership with alumni is the employment placement and deployment. It's employment placement because we have to take care of our graduates who are not yet employed. Although I am proposing that our graduates should not only seek employment, but our graduates should actually create jobs. In the creation of jobs, we can tap alumni, especially those that are already in the higher echelon of government or public service, or even in private industries, in order for us to be able to maximize the partnership and collaboration with our alumni and spread all glory and spread all possible chances of, opportunities for employment, especially those who are least, the lost, and the last. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. In your presentation, you mentioned the word community extension, global extension. So as a private sector representative, I would like to know what possible collaborative efforts you have in mind between EU and the private sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, I conceptualized that very much. That's why I presented here a figure wherein the Bicol University should have now a redefined role as far as its social stance is concerned. I would like to propose that BU should be a hub for strategic collaboration, for social innovation, for strategic innovation, collaboration, innovative, then inclusive societal transformation. So sorry for the glitches. We have to partner with the private sectors. That's why I said there that we have to be the center of the center. We should not only be producing graduates, but we shall produce talents and solutions. So in this community extension, as far as my priorities are concerned, number one is the promotion of Bicol culture and also the research and development for Bicol culture in order not only to preserve but bring it to the international culture attention. And the other one is to bring here to create what we call social and academic global village, because we have a lot of private sectors and also international organizations that are actually very much giving help to those who are in need in developing countries, in third world, so on and so forth. So we can bring here those organizations in order for us to have global, international, or global village that will uplift societal transformation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Alex. And we are done with the questions from the sectoral representatives. And sir, wag ka na po siguro umalis because we will be inviting the 4 other candidates to come up stage for the second round of question. And they will be drawing their questions from this mysterious box. So, while we wait for the 4 other candidates, I'm looking at the Facebook Live, and we have around 400 viewers. Siguro yung iba nag-lunch na. Kanina mas madami to. Okay? Pwede munang mag-stretch and mag-relax while we try to imbibe the words that they have been bombarding us. Excellence, innovation, sustainability, globalization, smart campus, resource generation, future-proofing, research and development, collaboration, and a lot more. Kaya niyo po bang ma-comprehensively thought of lahat ng visions? Okay. Now is the time to cheer and clap our hands to our candidates who are answering all the questions from our sectoral representatives. I think wala na daw break. Kanina kasi may 10-minute break dapat. But in the element of time that we are it's almost noon time. Okay? We will proceed now with the second round of the open forum. How are you candidates so far? Okay pa, great? Gutom na? Hindi pa. Okay, attorney, I will follow the same sequence. Okay, so based on the sequence, we will start with Dr. Nebres. You will draw your question from this mysterious box. I will read the question drawn by Dr. Nebres. Ang liliit ng sulat. So kung maliit yung sulat nyo doon sa papel na binigay sa inyo, baka kayo ang maswerteng nabunot. Your question, sir, is what are your thoughts on giving additional healthcare benefits to the teaching and non-teaching staff? I repeat, what are your thoughts on giving additional healthcare benefits to the teaching and non-teaching staff?
In my goal, I think goal number 3, it states there that one of my focus is for safety and healthy university. And that is one that I'm going to work on. And it is very important. If we have a healthy university, then I think we will going to have a healthy community. And that's another answer for sustainable development.
Thank you. We go now to the next question for Dr. Attorney Joseph L. Bartolata. Sir, your question is, what aspect or aspects of the quality management system are you going to retain? Which are you going to change? And which are you going to discard? Again, what aspect or aspects of the quality management system are you going to retain? Which are you going to change? And which are you going to discard?
Thank you. I have been the quality management representative of PU for 6 years, and based on our latest evaluation, systems and processes are still considered as our water law. Something must be done with regard to our systems and processes in our QMS. And what should be the response? The response is through digital transformation, or the making of technology to help better improve our systems and processes. Unfortunately, of course, digital transformation is capital intensive, and this, of course, requires a lot of investments. Unfortunately, again, our economy is not performing well, and we do not expect much from the national government. Hopefully, when the economy gets to full throttle and the fiscal space gets widened, we can request for increased funds to finance our digital transformation project, which is currently ongoing. We have started with the mobile app for the students. We will continue with all the systems from admission to enrollment to payment systems, so on and so forth. Now, if this cannot be financed by the subsidy of the government, we are looking at the income, our income. We will apportion a significant amount of our income to finance our systems and process under our quality management system.
Thank you. We go now to the third question for Dr. Ophelia Summersey. Ma'am, your question. Will you provide all the faculty members one laptop each? Again, will you provide all the faculty members one laptop each?
My answer is a simple yes na yes. I guess during the time of Dr. Mascareñas, I understand that a lot of faculty already received laptop. For the College of Medicine, for example, we have already requested and actually had a PR for that. But unfortunately, the process has been delayed. But I agree that each one of the faculty should receive, probably, hopefully, even part-time faculty should have a laptop for them because they're also serving the university. And our problem is not money. We have so much money, and that is the ironic problem of Bicol University is underutilized funds. Gastusin natin yung pera para sa laptop ng lahat. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Dr. C. We go now to the question for Dr. Arnulfo P. Malinis. Sir, your question is, if given free rein in the budget, what will be your first project? If given free rein in the budget, what will be your first project?
Thank you, Sir Sam. In my presentation with my 3 strategic spheres of synergism with 8 development agenda and with 36 strategic initiatives, the first thing that I have to provide budget is my quality assurance continuum. This will address SUC leveling, continuum for SUC leveling, address COE, COD, address our accreditation, address QMS, address everything about program review such as COPC. These are the things that we need for our world or global rankings requirements. So all the budgets will be aligned towards this quality assurance continuum or QACO. Aside from that, we look into our students, our first priority. The EASY program will provide or address the pains in the different processes. The postgraduate program from enrollment to graduation. And this will also, with those 2 first in the seamless education. And now, the next thing to do is to look into our personnel. Particular, for example, for the MBC 461, wherein the 9th cycle is coming. We have to be proactive and agile with regards to this one. Other things will follow, such as our connection with the PU Faculty Association, our connection with our alumni, our global trifocal alliance with the government and our partners in the industry. So friends, beloved community, the first thing that we have to look into is quality assurance for Bicol University, and the rest will follow. Thank you.
Thank you. Last but not the least, question for Dr. Attorney Alex B. Nipongsen. Attorney, your question is, as a leader, how will you describe your leadership style? What situations have you experienced that tested your leadership ability to obtain positive outcomes? As a leader, how will you describe your leadership style? What situations have you experienced that tested your leadership ability to obtain positive outcomes?
Thank you very much. It is servant legacy leadership, because I believe leaders come and go, but legacy remains. There is this very big difference when you just finish your term without leaving any footprints or imprints that can be passed on from one generation to the next generation. However, the challenge that I encounter is this, that many among our leaders still don't embrace servant legacy leadership. They just come up with plans and programs that implement within their term. But it will not be considered as a legacy unless the worth of it will be appreciated by the next administration, that regardless of color, regardless of political parties, regardless of personal standpoint, it can be embraced because it will contribute not only to the organization, but to the society, that will therefore rally the concept societal transformation. I believe that if everyone will be a servant legacy leader, if everyone will just come up with one magnum opus or masterpiece servant leader program or project, when you multiply that and you count that all throughout the world, we'll be having a best word for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Alex. Sabi ng floor director, let's have one more round of questions. Okay? Galing sa mahiwagang box. Let's start again with Dr. Benji. Your question is, what will you do to regain the PBB for BU employees? Again, natatawa. What will you do to regain the PBB for BU employees?
Actually, it's a collective efforts of everyone. It is not only the role of the president, the main function of the president. Everyone's contribution is needed to achieve the targets. And if one office or another unit will not do their role, their function, we will not going to get the PBB. The only role that we can do is to motivate you to do our job well and do the right thing and achieve this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Benji. We go on to the next question for Dr. Joseph. Napaka-engaging na mga tanong. Sir Attorney Joseph, your question is, how do you plan to ensure the marketability of BU graduates so they have good competitive chance in their fields after graduating? How do you plan to ensure the marketability of BU graduates so they have good competitive chance in their fields after graduating?
The recently approved Philippine Development Plan has 8-point agenda, and one of which is the creation of quality jobs. And our response is to improve the employability of our graduates so that we can respond to one of the 8-point agenda of the current administration. Of course, the main question is how. Number one, we will constantly review our curricular offerings and ensure that when we conduct review, it should be need-based. It should be need-based. Second, in the review of our curricular offerings, we should always involve the industry, because of course graduates will be employed by the industry, and the competencies that we should develop among our graduates should be industry-based. Third, of course, we should support all the programs along the holistic development and wellness of our students. It is only, there are recent developments as to what competencies should be developed among our students now. You may have been familiar with the 21st competency like collaboration, critical thinking, communication. But recently we have the 22nd competencies like care, culture, community, and so on and so forth. All these we must develop among our students so that they are ready for our industry.
Thank you, Attorney Joseph. We go now to the question for Dr. Clean. Sorry, I missed. Dr. Offen. Ma'am, your question is, what student benefits would you like to add as the university president? What student benefits would you like to add as the university president?
There are so many benefits that I can give to the students during my presidency. But I think primordial to that will be the availability of additional funds for poor students. So that means that additional scholarship for students who are in need of more funds. Not all our students in the university are capable of actually providing for themselves. Even if with free tuition fees, they still need allowance and they still need to eat and pay for their boarding houses. So we should be able to give this particular benefit for the students. Secondly, we will give them benefit of safety. That means that they will be protected 24/7. So the security in the university must really be also a primordial concern and provision from the administration. Number three, I would like to provide them free rides and transportation across all campuses. So we will be providing free jeepneys or e-bikes, so that they will be able to transfer from one campus to the other without having to actually have the fear of having accidents and so on, and also so that they will be able to attend to their classes on time. So whatever they need, I think I will have to talk with the student council so that I will know what other needs they like, so we can have a dialogue. There's always room for each of us to be able to provide the needs of the students, because they are our first and foremost the primary stakeholder of the university. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. C. Now we go to the question for Dr. Clean. Sir, your question is, what programs do you have for alumni sector, and how do you propose to engage them in donating funds? What programs do you have for alumni sector, and how do you propose to engage them in donating funds?
Thank you, Sir Sam, for that question. Again, as part of the 8 Development Agenda and 36 strategic initiatives, I have two programs to strengthen our engagement with the alumni. We call the first program as the LINGA program. It is linking with the alumni in terms of developing programs and strategies for investment and technopreneurship. Like, for example, one program that I envision is that we will coordinate with the alumni to come up with this technopreneurship program for our alumni to go into investment. We have alumni who develop already technologies during the process. These developed technologies could be developed towards incubation for businesses, and with that, we will be helping our alumni for enterprise development. Another is that we have alumni who are very rich. You can raise your hand down here, alumni who are very rich, and you could donate to the Alumni Association. There are some people raising at the back to donate to the Alumni Association, and these funds is very important to the alumni. Another program is the INA program, institutionalizing and nurturing alumniship. Okay. When other universities such as the Visayas State University is expanding its membership in the alumni, membership from those who graduates, our graduates with our linkage with other universities internationally. So we have to look into the policy for the program for our alumni towards expanding alumniship. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sir Clint. The question now for Attorney Alex. Sir, your question. The organizational setup of an agency largely determines its effectivity. Do you think that the present organizational setup of BU is enough to face future challenges? Why and why not? If not, what changes in the organizational setup would you improve on? The organizational setup of an agency largely determines its effectivity. Do you think that the present organizational setup of BU is enough to face future challenges? Why and why not? If not, what changes in the organizational setup would you improve on?
Thank you very much. I'd like first to have premise to lay down. First, organization has to have this coordinated BPS, behavior representing people, process and structure. BPS, behavior, people, and structure. Now, if the who and the how will not be a perfect match, there will be a turmoil in the organization. Is there a need to restructure or retain the structure and just change the people, or vice versa? That will depend, because if the boat is sinking, you may not rearrange just the chair, but you will be required to jettison, isn't it? So that is one point of view. Now the challenge of the world is Herculean already, because we are transforming. In fact, from IR 4.0 to IR 5.0. But this is being cautioned by, or cautioned I should say, by by Education 5.0, wherein the means of these infrastructures and machineries, we have to put our attention to the learner, being the learner-centered era in our societal transformation. Now, if the demand of the world is for digital transformation, and if Bicol University has not yet digitalized, so there is a need for us to change the structure. That's why in my presentation, I said that there is a need to harmonize the biophysical, cyber, and virtual environments. from synchronization of this, we'll see therefore if what are the offices that must be required. Now, if we are coming up with our physical infrastructure that is not in consonance with our ICT infrastructure, we have to correct that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Before you clap, wait lang. We still have one bonus question for all. The question will be coming from Pres Choi Kadag of the Camarines Sur Polytechnic College. You will answer the same question.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. Especially to the equally deserving aspirants to BU presidency. Okay, allow me please to ask this question on behalf of the President.
The selection committee, if I could ask this question, and she said yes, of course, concurred by President Noon here. If to be elected as BU president, how can you, as the preeminent SUK in the Bicol region, assist other SUKs in the region to grow like Bicol University? Okay, may I repeat the question? If to be elected as BU president, how can you, as the preeminent state university in the Bicol region, assist the other SUKs in the region to grow like Bicol University?
Sir Benji will be the first. Sir Benji will be the first to answer.
In my vision, a university for humanity, I gave the 4 pillars and leading to sustainable society. And these things are given, but it will come into reality if the quality of engagement and collaboration will be delivered. And collaboration not only by one university, that's Bicol University, but collaboration with among the SUCs in the Bicol region. Sharing of knowledge, sharing of transfer of knowledge, sharing of innovation, sharing of the technical needs, and not only just the sharing, but also the mentoring. It's very essential because the growth of the region is not only being catered by one institution, it should be catered by all. It is a work by everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Benji. Next, we have Attorney Joseph.
Thank you, President Kadag. I can cite 3. Number 1, healthy competition. We will provide you a healthy competition so that you can compete with us. I understand a lot of SUKs are trying to topple down BU as the premier state university in the region. And come on, we will provide the healthy competition so that you can improve. And we too can improve. Second, we will help along faculty. I understand also there are SUKs that are trying to achieve universityhood and they lack the required faculty members. We will give you the adjunct faculty that you need so that you will be elevated to a university. And third, collaboration. We can continue to collaborate in the conduct of research and extension function. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Joseph. Next, we have Dr. Open.
Thank you so much, Dr. President Choi. You have to listen to me. So I know what the different SUKs need right now. So this is the opening up of College of Medicine. we have been visited several times by different SUPs all over the Philippines because of the impressive performance of the College of Medicine of the Bicol University. And now we are also getting a lot of inquiries and also benchmarking from the other SUPs. And number one talaga dyan is President Choi. Gusto nila magkaroon din ng College of Medicine sa CSPC, and we will grant that. And how do we help them? Specifically, we will have to have tie-up with regards to, coming up with their curriculum, and at the same time, our laboratory, and in the staffing, the faculty. It's very crucial nowadays because you need 20 faculty, President Choi, so our faculty are here. So they will be agreeing to also to be part-time faculty in the Camarines or Polytechnic College, and probably one of them will agree to become your dean. Because that's one of the most difficult part in opening up a medical school. And at the same time, we will have a collaboration also. I understand, President Choi, nauunahan nyo na talaga ang Bicol University in terms of automation. So right now, we're getting a lot of help from them. I think there should be a stronger collaboration with all the SUPs in the whole of the Bicol region. We'll help each other so that all of us will become SUP level 5. So that will be, I guess, the best goal that we will have to set together as SUCs and also schools in the Bicol region. Matatalo na natin yung Mindanao. Maraming salamat. At Batangas pala. At Batangas. Idol namin ng Batangas State. I did a lot of benchmarking.
Okay. Now it's the time for Sir Clean to answer the question.
So thank you for that question, Dr. Choi, President of CSPC. We have here in our midst the President of PASUC, Dr. Tejo Rogelio, and we have also 9 state universities and colleges in the region. Okay, so we have to look into how really to strengthen and harness every competitive advantage or niche of each institution. Bicol University has been leading, I think, PASUC 5, and there are a lot of programs. There are a lot of programs that PASUC 5 are doing together with the guidance of PASUC National. So this is an umbrella of organization, and each of the state university and college in Bicol region has the capacity to provide particular services, particular collaborations. We have the cooptations, we call it cooperation, and friendly competition according to Doc Bartolata. So every PASUC institution in the region has problems that might be facing. Okay? Helping each other with the development of programs for the students, for the faculty, for the students, for the faculty, and for our partners. Okay. So let us check what is the current situation with regards to this collaboration and draw solutions, draw programs that would address anything that would make Bicol region more progressive. We look the role of these state universities in the development of Bicol region. Let us collaborate, let us cooperate, for our community is needing us, for community empowerment. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Lee. Now we have the answer from Sir Attorney Alex.
Thank you very much, Press Choi. I'll give 3, although there are more. The first, of course, is I'll take to my mantra, not just excellence, but greatness. Excellence is individual skills, but greatness is collective skills. So we all together collaborate in order to raise the banner, not only of Bicol University, but Bicol region, because one Bicol aspiration, one Bicol development. The second is we invite you to have a square fair participation in the societal transformation, BU being a hub as we invite here and develop what we call academic global village. The needs the needs, the expertise, the brand that your school and other universities have will be brought in the academic global village, wherein we are going to have our respective position from excellence to greatness in that academic global village. And the third one, of course, is the sharing of resources, the inter-sharing of services and the inter-sharing of resources. Our human resource and even non-human resource will be made open in order to support all of the SUKs, because after all, we are using the same government fund that is just translated and just figured out in the General Appropriation Act, but we have one nation to push and we have one future to develop. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Alex. Now is the time to give all our cheers and clap to our 5 candidates. Congratulations in advance to all of you. I think it was a very job well done this morning for all of you. And pwede siguro mag-picture muna yung 5. Okay, mamaya na daw ang picture taking. So, yes, don't go down anymore. Okay? Diyan na lang daw muna kayo habang ninanam ng audience ang mga mukha nyo. Before our Board of Regents select among the 5 of you. In 4 days, we will have a new president of Bicol University out of these 5 candidates. But before we have a new president, let us acknowledge at this point to give us the closing remarks. We will now hear from our university president, Dr. Arnulfo M. Mascareñas, SUK President for Bicol University.
Thank you very much, Sam, to our highly qualified candidates for the VP presidency, to our highly esteemed members of the Search Committee, to my academic, to my VP community, to our stakeholders and guests, Makainaw to sa Indugabos. I'm really very happy because after 8 long years, finally my time has come. I'll be relieved of the stresses, which is not ordinary for a president. But I think in my EOT presentation last week, I failed to mention one thing. That is, in my 8 years of presidency, we were able to produce a sanctuary of future leaders for Bicol University. And for over 3 hours now, my dear friends, you have witnessed that indeed Bicol University will be in good hands. 4 days from now, if any of these 5 candidates for the presidency will make it as the 9th BU president. I know very well these individuals vying for the presidency because I've worked with them very closely. I've seen them rise from the ranks, and they have given their very best for Bicol University. So may I take this opportunity to thank our 5 candidates for having the courage to move forward and apply for the BU presidency. Rest assured that our Bicol University community will be with you, will work with you. They will give all their best, the same thing that they did to me for the past 8 years. So good luck, my dear friends. God bless you all.
Before we have the singing of the Bicol University hymn, we would like to present the certificate of commendations to the chair and the members of the search committee. So the certificate of commendation reads, is presented to the name of the member for his or her active participation and significant contribution as member of the search committee for the 9th president of Bicol University, held on February 27, 2023 at Hotel St. Ellis, Legazpi City, given this 27th day of February 2023 at Legazpi City, signed Arnulfo M. Mascareñas, Sub-President for Bicol University. So the first certificate is presented to Ma'am Mary Mijatrix V. Villanueva. Same certificate is presented to Mr. Neil Joseph S. Iyo. Same certificate is presented to Prof. Joel B. Habano. Same certificate is presented to Attorney Septon A. De La Cruz. Wala pa kayong mga kamay. Same certificate is presented to Dr. Tirso A. Ronquillo. And same certificate is presented to the chair, Dr. Milabel E. Paul. Okay, thank you very much. May I now request everyone to please rise as we sing together the Bicol University hymn, to be led by the BU Pulangi Choral. And this choral is trained by Sir Bernard S. Reforzado. Yan lang.
This is the school we wish to sing, all the school to honor and revere. A temple built by men of firmness, someone for you to walk with pride. For we will always be united, although we tread on distant lands. We all shall cherish what you taught, accept you wholeheartedly gave for. Bicol University, burning torch of wisdom, crown of courage, hope and love, seed of truth and light. Bicol University, burning torch of wisdom, crown of courage, hope and love, seed of truth and light.
Thank you very much. Pwede na siguro magpa-picture. Gusto magpa-picture sa ating mga presidential balls? Pwede rin po. And thank you very much for your time and a happy lunch, everyone.
Kaya ba? Kaya. Kaya yan.